Okay, good morning. So, Black opinionated woman here. I actually, last night, or was it this morning? I think it was last night. I didn't watch TikTok. Maybe it was, I can't remember. Already my days are starting to blend. I saw a TikTok that I thought was really interesting. And it was, well, let me just say this before I get into it. Something's bothering my eye. I often hear Black women or Black mothers when they are raising their daughters in environments that don't look like them. They go and they use certain language around them. My chocolate baby, she's my beautiful chocolate this, or, they say these kinds of things and they go out of their way to affirm them in terms of their beauty, their value, and everything like that. You hear it a lot because usually these young ladies are surrounded by girls who don't look like them. And so their hairstyles are different, the things that they can do or get away with, depending on how their little girl is wearing their hair, will determine the certain activities sometimes. So, like if you just had your hair done, like straightened or something like that, you tend to not want to play in, water activities and the such. So when I was on TikTok and I saw Wendy, now she was from Wendy Osefo, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. If I pronounced it wrong, please forgive me. I believe it's Osefo, Wendy Osefo. She is a cast member on the Real Housewives of Potomac, and she's had a lot of work done on. Well, she admitted to some, but I believe keywords. I believe she's had other work done, but she's admitted to getting her boobs done. Um, I believe she's gotten other parts of her body done. I wouldn't be surprised if she's touched her face. I noticed that she tends to wear a lot of bust down weaves. And there was a period of time, in my opinion, when it appeared like her foundation was lighter than the color of her skin. I say all this because she's a Nigerian woman, or at least that is her culture. I can't remember. I think she was born in Nigeria, right? She came to the United States, flushed Alpha Kappa Alpha, sorority incorporated. Um, and there's all kinds of, stereotypes that come along with being part of the AKAs. She is on a franchise where the women have been, I don't want to say notoriously because I don't think it's bad to be like, right? But these women tend to be um, very fair skinned or multiracial, biracial, multiracial. So take that information as you will. When I would see her in the past, I would see a woman who desperately wanted to fit in. And I stand by my comments. This woman is somewhere around 40, 45 years old, and she still has her insecurities. I said what I said. I mean, we all have insecurities. But this brown woman, who's not a bad looking woman at all, um, she, I don't know. There's something going on with her. And every time you see her, she has her hard rock boobs out. She has on a bust down and a bajillion pounds of makeup. So I see her on TikTok. Um, I guess she was having, I don't know if she was hosting some sort of talk show or a panel or something. And she was talking about her daughter being this beautiful chocolate girl. And I'm like, why do we have to refer to our children as food as if to make it more palatable? But she refers to her daughter as this gorgeous girl who's surrounded by a whole bunch of women who don't look like her, young girls, at school or whatever, right? And so she's basically, I'm just summarizing, I guess, talking about how she's affirming her daughter. She didn't use those words, but And I kind of feel like it is such cognitive dissonance. It is cognitive dissonance. You cannot tell me on the one hand you are affirming her and you're telling her how beautiful she is, and you have gone out of your way to not look like who you are in every way. And then she tries to put people down if she thinks that they don't match her perceived intellect. Wendy has four. What is going on here? Whoa, we're all like, what is happening? This car stops in the middle of the road. I don't know what that was, but that's strange. I don't know what just happened, but that's scary because you can get hurt. Wow. But anyway, so the where was I going with that? I'm sorry. I was talking about Wendy Osefo. Oh yeah, so everything about her, she has gone out of her way to change the way she looks. And she's talking about how she's affirming her daughter, or basically, she's concerned about her daughter being in these environments. I'm like, well, look at you. It's cognitive dissonance. How can you possibly say that, you're teaching her to love herself when the very first thing you did was hide your hair and then you hid your face? Not to say that you can't wear makeup, because if you're on camera, you're going to wear makeup, right? In her body, everything about what she's trying to look like is not her. I kind of feel like the hypocrisy of all that is, how can you possibly talk to her and try to instill in her something that you can't even live up to? I have a daughter, she's 12 years old, and let me tell you, she's proud if she can get her hair in a puff, because puffs are hard for me because you got to put like two ponytails really, because it's thick, right? She's proud when her hair is braided. She's proud when it's. I tend to cornrow her hair to her head, right? Because she plays sports. So I'll put like two. I call it the 1980s cornrows. Bam. She actually likes it. I think it's cute on her. Sometimes I cornrow her hair up to a ponytail or into a bun. Sometimes I put extensions in it if I need to for it to last a period of time. Like in the next couple of weeks, she will have extensions because we will be traveling a little bit. So I don't like to bring a whole bunch of stuff. But I let her see herself the way she is. And she is so pretty. Her hair is her hair. She'll wear it in a puff, like if I can, because sometimes I'm like, this is wearing me out. But when her hair is in a puff, she loves it. She looks at herself, lips are popping and locking. She's like, her mom always got to get this some lip gloss going. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell her. She's like, my eyebrows look perfect. Like, she sees her beauty and she thinks she is the bee's knees, as she should. She came for me. But I would be disingenuous if I were to tell her how beautiful she was or is. And everything that I'm doing for myself is to hide what I look like. So when I see Wendy Osefo, and I'm like, it's cognitive dissonance. You are saying one thing and showing something else. You talk about how you want to show her like how she's beautiful the way she is, and I'm like, you don't like yourself. I remember when she came on and I was like looking at some of her makeup, but I haven't watched this show in a while, but I was like, why is your makeup several, it's like it's the shades really, it was just weird. It was like she was trying to lighten her skin. And if for those of you who don't know, Wendy Osefo is a brown skinned woman, dark skinned woman. And if you see her, she's an attractive woman, right? She's a decent looking woman. So I'm like, you would think that she would just play up her natural assets. Nope, she didn't. Anyway, I just feel like oftentimes I hear people say these things. I see so many women out here their idea of getting ready is to mask. And I get it because of the beauty standards of where we are, right? So I see a lot of women masking, you know, they are masking. They're like, well, in order for me to feel acceptable in society, I need to make sure I go get this long bust down weave with hair texture that doesn't match what grows out of my head. Um, and then the whole makeup circus. And I just want to say, I am not anti makeup. Let's be clear, because I'm getting ready to get one of those Anastasia tint bars or whatever it is. I gotta figure out what shade I am, because these under eye circles. I'm like raccooning under the eyes. But what I am saying is, I see the women who look like me get out here, and the amount of makeup and the bust down weaves, and it's like it's just turning into a circus. It's like clownish. I'm looking at some of these women. They look like queens that like to go dragging, if you know what I mean. They look, it's I don't know how to describe it, but it looks clownish. It looks almost mannish now. And I say this because you have a lot of these men who engage in that, and they're doing everything, like they over contour, they do all these things to try to look feminine, but they're doing it based off of the male face and structure, right? And I feel like these women are now trying to mimic men putting on makeup. Like it's like a spectacle. And so now you can't even appreciate their face. And I feel like the women who look like me are masking a lot. They're masking. They're masking. Like, we already know how to code switch, right? And we get it. And for those of you who know, you know. For our safety, of course. But between the code switching and the masking and the hair situation, it's a lot. But anyway, to circle back to my main point, I just feel like everyone, not everyone, but many of these mothers are walking in their hypocrisy era. Because on the one hand, they're talking about how they tell their daughter this, that, and the other, but I'm like, stop telling them something that you're not even living up to. I'm not talking a one-off thing or little function. Like, I'm talking about your daily, everyday is, I don't know what that is. Anyway, I just wanted to share those both thoughts. I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious to hear what people think about that. And maybe I'm being too judgmental. Look, I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But I just thought it was just so interesting that she would get out there and talk about her daughter, about how she's this, that, and the other. And I guess she's trying to show her something. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like, how can you possibly tell someone they're beautiful when you can't look in the mirror and see what God has blessed you with? You can't do it. You're doing everything you can to change it. But you want to say, you know, you tell somebody they're beautiful. I'm like, miss me. Those words don't match your actions. So anyway, that's it. But I feel like I'm right on this one. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Let me know your thoughts. Seriously, I'm actually curious on this one. Let me know your thoughts.